How's it going, YouTubers? Nightmare7 here. I'm back with another toy review, and today I am reviewing the Transformers Universe 2.0 Ultra Class Hardhead. Now, you can tell if you already know, Hardhead is, if you can tell, he is a repaint of Onslaught, who I don't have, and I don't really plan on getting him, mainly because he's not really a combinable. He can't combine, even if he doesn't have the ability. Some people are okay with it, but I did hear some other people were disappointed that Onslaught couldn't combine for this toy line. But repainting him to Hardhead, I'm kind of happy Hasbro actually did that, because Hardhead, this is the best version of Hardhead, and I did get him. Now, this is actually my second copy of the figure. My first copy isn't broken or anything. It just didn't have the turrets, and I already ended up selling that one. But other than that, it's exactly the same figure, just without turrets. But he did have the shield, and this one also has it. See, I just wanted to get a complete one for my collection, and I couldn't believe I had to pay $40 for him, because the first copy I paid $20, and for this one, an extra $20 plus shipping. But I think it was worth it though, because due to how hard to find the turrets are, if you're familiar with the mold, you'll probably know that these things were very easy to lose back then. You know, parents, if you're gonna plan on buying this for a kid, hopefully you don't pay too much for it. And if you can get the turrets, they come out really easily. I highly recommend putting like just a little bit of super glue inside so it doesn't fall out. Now, for me, I didn't do that, and I'm not going to, because I definitely can guarantee you guys I am not going to take this figure out of my house. But I do want to give a shout out to the owners who sold me this figure. This shout out goes to Buddy's Toys and Collectibles. They are located in San Antonio, Texas, and I was fortunate enough to find a Hardhead complete from them, and I highly recommend them. Again, if you're in San Antonio, Texas, you might be familiar with this collectible shop, and like I said, they're really good people. I highly recommend doing business with them. And now, just thought I'd show you a little bit of Hardhead. I don't have his packaging, obviously, but I can show you this. Now, you can tell he is a Walmart exclusive, and he is a 25th anniversary figure to celebrate 25 years of the Universe 2.0 line, and he is, of course, from the Generation 1 series. Please ignore that little light. That's my camera light. There we go. See, so he is a Generation 1 figure, and obviously he's from the Generation 1 series. For that, and if you were to look at the bottom of the box like this, I'm guessing these guys are in. I'm guessing these three deluxes are also his wave mates. Starscream, who I do have, Smokescreen, who I also have, and Beast Wars Dinobot, who I don't have, and I don't plan on getting him. I'm not a fan of Beast Wars, and yes, that means I'm also not going to pick up the Kingdom Dinobot. I don't plan on getting him anytime soon. I'm not a fan of Beast Wars, you guys, just so you know. But I do have these two, and I will be comparing them with Hardhead. And if you were to look on the left side of Hardhead's packaging, I'm guessing Powerglide is also his wave mate, which could make sense because he's also a Walmart exclusive, and he's also a 25th anniversary figure. And as you can probably tell, this is the more accurate Powerglide. And I think Skyfall is also their wave mate. But you will be seeing comparisons with those four. And as usual, and like I mentioned, I don't have Dinobot. So don't expect a comparison with him. And nor a review, because I don't plan on getting Dinobot at all. Nor the Kingdom version, just so you guys know. Because like I said, I'm not a fan of Beast Wars. So anyway, here we have Hardhead. As you can tell, he is, I believe, I think he's basically supposed to be a more military-looking SWAT tank. Onslaught, however, was a SWAT tank. And I'm guessing Hardhead has more of a military design to him, which I really do like the paint job. He's got one Autobot symbol on the other side, and another on the one Autobot symbol on the side, and another one on the other side, which really makes me, which I really do enjoy. And for these things, I believe during his battles with the Decepticons, if he were to drive over, if they were to drop like any grenades, I believe they would go under these things. I guess to make sure he takes less damage, I think. I'm not an expert when it comes to military vehicles, you guys, just so you know. But he does roll pretty well. He does have a, it's not really an off-white. It's more like a I guess I can call it faded yellow. But his turrets, they may not look as white because they are off-white. But it doesn't bother me at all. I'm just happy to have the turrets. But it does roll well. Now, this would actually activate some, an engine starting, but for some reason, my copy won't work. I don't know why. And as usual, I did get this pre-owned. My first copy I had did work, but for some reason, this happened not too long ago, it just stopped. It's not the batteries. The batteries, they still work. And if you click here, there's a button right here. Now, for some reason, like I said, this thing won't work. And it is definitely this tire, because it doesn't have the metal pin. The other side, it's just free. It moves freely. If it doesn't move freely, this is the right button. I don't know why it won't work, but if you click on this button here, you get 2 sounds. He would have 3 sounds, including the wheel, but I don't know why it won't work. But at least these 2 work. So you get gunfire, and that keeps going for as long as you hold the button. And the second one would be the sirens. Hopefully you can see the light. And that also goes for as long as you hold it. If you just tap it, that's what happens. See? And if you click, I don't know if you can see it, but see that? Hopefully you heard me. As you just saw, it does glow red in here, and for the sirens, as you already saw. Now, personally, I don't really care for those electronics. I don't really mess with these figures, but it's nice to know that these still work. And the turret, the 2 turrets. Now, it can't do a 360. It can only go 90 degrees per side. See, it won't. Ooh, my bad. Stay. See? It can't go 90 degrees, which sucks. But that doesn't really bother me. Oh, hang on a second. Alright, now that I got it in. But he is mostly green. And there's no light up feature for this little light there, sadly. And I believe this thing, it does open, but I already cut my nails. But it can open, alright? Now, I believe that's mostly for the upgrade kit that gives him the new head and some new weapons. This guy was a headmaster back in the 80s cartoon, but I don't plan on buying that figure. I don't plan on buying the upgrade kit. My apologies. I kind of like the Hardhead, the Onslaught head on Hardhead. But other than that, very nice figure. The back is really not much paint. It's just all green. But one thing I will show you that's pretty cool, that Hasbro was a genius. Same thing applied with Onslaught. You see the shield. One thing I actually do like about this shield, I will show you that you can store it in here. Man, see this little piece there? See in the middle, bottom of that light? This will hold it. And didn't mean to click that, but I probably won't hold it as well. Now if you lift this thing up, you can still have access to the button. See? But it doesn't really hold that well. But either way, I don't store it like that. I just put this in a little baggie. But what I actually like about Hardhead's shield, if you remember Onslaught's shield just had SWAT. And one thing I knew that it didn't have a Decepticon symbol, which really did bother me. This one, I know he's an Autobot, but one thing I actually like about this, he has a Decepticon. He has a, I believe he did some graffiti on his shield, painted a Decepticon symbol. Looks like paint is falling down. Spray painted and crossed the Decepticon symbol in red. See, so it's obviously just all purple, the Decepticon symbol, no white or silver lining, but it is crossed out, as you can see. And he did put some tallies. Now I wonder who those 7 Decepticons were that he killed. I'm guessing that's what it means. So again, I do wonder who those 7 Decepticons that he killed were. So honestly, that's one thing I like about Hardhead. The shield on him, yeah, he looks like he's meant to be a military guy, which is, I guess, the army serves. I'm guessing that's his point too. Onslaught, more on the opposite. He's obviously a villain dressed up, disguised as law enforcement, just to trick some Autobots, I suppose. That's Onslaught. He's like the T-1000 from Terminator. Because remember the T-1000 from, obviously, Terminator 2? Robert Patrick, he played that guy. He played the T-1000 in Terminator 2. He was a cop. He was actually just a villain disguised as a cop. I feel like that's how Onslaught is too, for the toy line. But other than that, not really much I can say for vehicle mode, besides he can be able to find some Decepticons. And these, like I said, I think these are to protect some of the vehicle, the front of the vehicle. So I'm guessing these, if anything explodes like a grenade, I believe these keep them from damaging here. I think. But overall, still a nice figure. Now, like I say, not really much to say about this guy, but for vehicle mode, that's pretty much it. But we will get to comparisons, so hang on. So for a comparison, for the first comparison, this is going to be mostly 25th anniversary figures, for the most part. Here he is next to Starscream, Deluxe Starscream. Now, obviously way too short. But if you look close, oh man. Now, by how long he is, I think they're almost as long as each other. Hang on, let me try this. Oh man. I think they're just by the bit. I think Starscream's about as long as Hardhead, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if you can. I know if you can't see it. If you can't see that well, I do apologize. But just thought this is how they look together. Obviously, out of scale. If you look at them like this, that definitely has scale. But that's enough of Starscream. For another comparison, here he is next to... Oh, come on, I didn't put the landing gear up. Alright, come on. Sorry, I didn't put the landing gear up for this guy. Here he is next to Skyfall. Who is... I don't know if you can tell, he's definitely longer than Hardhead by a bit. Now, I didn't mention this when I reviewed him with Darkwind. Now, both Skyfall and Darkwind are actually 25th anniversary figures. I didn't mention that in the video. I didn't even think about it. I already knew Darkwind, Skyfall was a 25th anniversary figure, except I didn't know Darkwind was, though. Now, I'm guessing Hardhead and Skyfall are wave mates, I guess. Which could make sense because they are both 25th anniversary figures. Same thing with Powerglide. Here he is with Powerglide. And this is the Walmart exclusive version too. The first version, if you remember, was just all white with a little red. That one, yeah, terrible. I prefer a more accurate version. If you want an even better version of this Powerglide, I guess if you don't mind paying extra, pick up the Henkei version. I'm not planning on buying that one. This one's perfectly fine because it has the oddball symbols. See? And for another comparison, come on, stay. There we go. For another comparison, here he is next to Smokescreen. I'm guessing they're also from the same wave. I'm guessing, which could make sense because this is also a 25th anniversary figure, Smokescreen. Enough of him. Here he is next to Ironhide. And no, Ironhide is not a 25th anniversary figure, just so you know. He came out in 2008. But his mold mate, Ratchet, was. But it's exactly the same mold, just so you know. It just to give you a bit of scale, like how they look together. How the mold itself looks. I guess Ironhide could be a little shorter, since this is mostly a SWAT tank mold. And final comparison, here he is next to Classics Cliff Jumper. Just get a bit of scale. Alright. Now, due to how much time this will take to transform Hardhead, now if you have this mold, I'm sure you can just watch another video and find out the transformation for him. You can either watch another video of him or Onslaught, because they are the same mold. So for this video, I am going to... Now, just so you guys know, I might not show the transformation for every figure. If they take a while, for Powerglide, it definitely does. So I am going to pause this video, and I'll be right back, okay, you guys? Since this is an old figure anyway. I'm sure everybody knows how to transform this mold anyway. But I will be back, alright, you guys? So there you have Hardhead in robot mode, and geez, he's not fitting the frame. And this guy is huge, and I do mean huge. Now, I don't know if these are supposed to be his... I don't know if this is actual transformation. Like, leaving the claws out like that, or not. Which does give him some wings. I guess if you have any Decepticons falling down on him, these could act like that. These could serve a purpose, but I don't know if that's the correct transformation or the official transformation. But either than that, this guy is huge, though. I will admit, this guy is pretty huge, especially for an Ultra. That's how our figures were back in the old days. Now our Kingdom figures, our current figures are obviously the Studio Series and Kingdom figures as of this video. And Now I don't know if that's the correct transformation, but for now we'll just do it like this. And this guy is huge, just so you know. So let's just do a comparison right now. Here he is next to Classics Cliff Jumper. If he'll stand. Here he is with Classics Cliff Jumper and Starscream. Again, this is the actual Universe Starscream. Better looking than the original Classics. So yeah, he definitely obviously does tower the deluxes. This guy is really huge. Here he is next to his wave mate, if they are actually wave mates. Skyfall. Now from the heads, it looks like Skyfall is a little bit taller than Hardhead, ignoring the back piece, the nose cone of Skyfall. I'm saying from the heads. He looks like he's slightly taller than Hardhead. Enough of that. Here he is next to, put it in the middle. Here he is next to Smoke Screen. Let me get him to stand correctly. I always have to fight with this guy, this figure. Never wants to stand straight. Come on, stand straight. Hang on, you guys. Okay, here he's next to Smoke Screen. And final comparison. Well, not the final comparison, there's one more. Now here he is next to Ironhide. Now this is actually Henkei Ironhide. It's exactly the same mold as what I showed in vehicle mode. This one just done in a more accurate paint job. And besides, it saved me some time. So just show how they look together. And for a final comparison, hang on, give me just 1 minute, you guys, just 1 minute. Alright, now I'm back. Here he is next to Stormcloud. And yeah, I know, I am using Stormcloud instead of Powerglide, but the transformation for this mode is a bit of a frustration. It does take me some time. But exactly the same mold, just so you guys know, right? Now, like I said, now it looks like Stormcloud is just a little bit taller than Hardhead. / Powerglide as well, because obviously Stormcloud is the repaint of Powerglide, so it's exactly the same mold. Just making show you the height of these guys. So again, like I said, I use Stormcloud instead of Powerglide because it does save me some time. It's pretty much already midnight here in Arizona, you guys. I just want to get some rest soon. So for articulation, Hardhead scissors are on the ratchet. You can hear that. So you can do 360. Same thing on the other arm. Sorry, I got stuck. Can do a 360. He can pivot his toes. That's because of transformation. His shoulder. Well, from his hands, his arms. This can do. From his elbow, he can do a little under 90 degrees there. He can do 360. See? His fist can do 360. Same thing applies on the other hand. He can do, I guess he can do the full split. My apologies if I did pause it there, but just he can do a full split as long as his arms aren't hindered. He can do a full split, as you can see. So it can go 90 degrees. It could do a 360, but it gets hindered by the pieces there, his legs. But he can do it. But there's enough clearance. They can do a soccer kick. Goal! I like saying that. Alright, that's enough for articulation. Man, this guy's huge. Yeah, his head can't go. He can't look up and down, but he can do a 360. Well, yeah, this guy is huge. He's not fitting in my camera. Yeah, it's not fitting. But however, he does have some cool abilities. If you click here, this little button there, a little gun comes out, and maybe you can shoot some Decepticons. The button still works. So you can shoot some Decepticons. Now, every time you press that button, you still get the exact same sounds, right, you guys? So his visor lights up red, which is kind of weird because Decepticons have red eyes and visors. Hardhead should have blue ones. But I guess it's okay because Superion also has a red visor in the cartoon. So I guess I can let that fly. But one thing, that head sculpt, man, so beautiful. Now it's obviously not a. Doesn't look like he may look like he has a pupil in the middle, or like from his eyes. But it's actually just my camera light. I need to zoom out a little bit. Hang on. And if you go from this arm, if you lift this thing up, that's, and if you already guessed, just like with Onslaught, you can hold the shield. So you remember this little piece there? This little piece there, that's where this connects. And here, the hollow bit in the middle connects there. He can hold it better than from vehicle mode. See? So he's definitely ready to fight some Decepticons. I'm very excited. Now, unfortunately, his turret, he can't make them go over his shoulders, but he can do that. So if you want, he can be able to shoot some Decepticons from there. Hopefully, if you can see them. So let me just get Skyfall. And since I forgot Skyfall has a button in his back which does the gun firing sound. So again, you can even shoot the turrets. So he did just kill Skyfall, making him in this video his 8th victim. Now I'm not actually gonna do a tally mark on that because that just shows how many victims he's had, or how many Decepticons he's killed in the past. So before we go, oh man, I can't believe it's been almost 30 minutes. It's been almost half an hour since I did this video. Focus more about vehicle mode. But he does have a little more detail there. He's got some red in the middle on his abs. Some of that same, I think on his here, it looks like got a little more gold. It's more like on the gold side. Same thing with his mouth plate. So he's still mostly green and off-white with a little more detail there, which is very nice. Then do a 360 of Hardhead. And this thing can, well, I guess it could almost do 90 degrees like in vehicle mode, but it's hindered because of this piece. And he can't actually rotate it up like you just saw. Alright. Like I said, those turrets being very easy to lose. But I do have a homie. He's also a TF collector. He actually did make some replacement turrets for the other copy I had, which I already sold to another homie of mine. But I'll have those. I can always just send them to her. Because obviously, if you want your figure complete, and despite how easy to lose these turrets were back then, if you have Facebook, my homie does have one. I don't think he has Instagram, but if you're in the TF group and if your copy of Hardhead or Onslaught has no turrets, he can definitely do replacement ones. He can definitely give you a deal on them. He gave me on these ones, on the ones I have on the way. But if you can find this guy for a good price, especially if you don't have the turrets, because like I said, my friend can make replacement ones. But other than that, if you can find them for a good deal, I say pick them up. So again, for this gun, press this black button here, and that comes out the little cannon. But again, like I said, if you can find Hardhead for a good price, pick him up. He's a very nice figure. Even if you already have Onslaught, whether you have Onslaught or not, still pick up Hardhead. He's a very nice figure. I'm really happy to have him over Onslaught. But now I'm not sure if I will plan on getting Onslaught. I haven't really decided yet. Probably not though. I prefer to Unite Warriors, Combaticons. If only they weren't so expensive, dang. But that's gonna be it, you guys. I'll be back with another toy review ASAP. But for now, y'all take care. Nightmare 70 out. Till all are one.